Good evening, everybody. Back on this Monday night, and I had some ideas that I was running through my head a little bit over the past couple weeks. And one of them was I got involved in a writing group, which allows me to kind of really be around people who are writing and doing other projects. And all of these videos that I do, whether you realize it or not, I actually handwrite them on paper first before I actually get them into this visual electronic form that you kind of see on the Zoom call and the YouTube channel. And the writing tablet has allowed me to treat this like a classroom with the almost like a whiteboard in a lot of ways. And this past weekend, I had this writing group where we just literally sit down within an hour. There's socializing going on before, and then socializing going on after. But that hour, dead silence. Everybody is like literally heads down, writing on their projects or writing their novel or their book or whatever they're doing. And I actually I was more productive in that hour than like the past 3 weeks combined trying to finish some of these videos. I got the outline for like 4 videos just in that 1 hour. And one of the ideas I had was to do kind of what we call a utility series on not just XRP, but a bunch of different coins that are trying to solve problems. So this will be the first one in that because I want to get this down to a simple format. And I'm going to start with cross-border payments because it's the one thing that we probably realize that Ripple and XRP are trying to solve. So I'm going to put it in a simple format on my little OneNote, and then I'm going to do a bunch of little videos like this and try to keep them short. The only way to keep them short is for me to shut up right now, so I'm going to really get into it. This utility series will cover everything from on the simple end, cross-border payments, to tokenized assets, to supply chain solutions, to smart contracts, even up to and including charity and philanthropy, because I've seen where that goes wrong in the traditional finance world. I think blockchain has a lot of solutions for even that. So I'm going to try to do a few of these videos like this and try to spread them out a couple days apart just to keep the train moving. The one thing I'm going to ask from you on the receiving end of this is, as we're going to see chances for improvements in our own lives by doing our investments in this world, is to start really thinking like an entrepreneur. Think of business 101. The mantra of that is find a need and fill it. And that's how businesses are born, because they see an issue in a community and whoever's jumping in goes after it to build a business to solve that problem. Look for problems that need solutions. Brad Garlinghouse is going after a big one. As you can tell by this outline, I'm going to go after and go over what Swift is and kind of the system that it is currently operating under. I'm going to go into Ripple and what they're looking to do to solve that problem in that system. And then I'm going to give you kind of a real world example to tie it all in at the end. So let's get started with Swift. All right. So this is what we would call a correspondent banking system. And the correspondent banking system, as we know it today, is otherwise known as Swift, which has been around since the early 1970s. And what we're looking at here, in order for, let's just say, someone in Thailand to send money to someone in Indonesia, they have to convert the Thailand currency, botnet, otherwise known as short for bot, into US dollars through a correspondent commercial banking system. And then those US dollars have to be converted to the Indonesia currency, which on the back end is called something. I don't even know what it is. I should have done the research on it. But basically, what you're looking at is a corporation has to go to a local commercial bank to send, let's say, $3,000 or 100,000 baht. And as you can see from this example, this is Corporation A in Thailand going to Commercial Bank B, and then they have to go to Bank B. But look what happens, because the original dollars that were sent were 29.50. That Bank B is going to get a cut. Now we're down to 29.06. Now Commercial Bank C, a correspondent bank to trade it through dollars, has to go through a correspondent bank on the other country in Indonesia. Now we're down to 28.86. Now that bank got a cut too. Now when they're putting it to Commercial Bank E, On the Indonesia side, they have to trade US dollars for the Indonesia currency, but in order to do that, they take a cut. And then finally, when we get to commercial F bank in Indonesia that the receiving corporation receives, we're now down to 28.28. So we started at $2,950. And in order to get it from country to country across borders, now the risk in losing from that 29.50 is now down to 28.28. And each checkpoint takes their cut, takes their cut, takes their cut, puts risk on both the person sending and also the person receiving, because we don't know what that 100,000 baht or that $2,900 is going to look like by the time it gets to the other end. Now you do, just by looking at this accordingly. Now this on the SWIFT system, you're talking what? Sometimes 15 to 30 days to get this from point A to point B. That is an extremely long period of time and a lot of currency fluctuation risk, because God knows what the US dollar looks like in 15 to 30 days. God knows what the Thai baht looks like in 15 to 30 days, or the Indonesian currency as well. So this is a bold problem that Garlinghouse and his team are looking to solve. And I'll simplify it on the next tab that I have here. And this is what it looks like from the cross-border payment from the Ripple XRP on-demand liquidity side. So you had sending institution A, like we did before, and they're sending dollars to exchange for a token called XRP in the middle. And then that XRP spits out on the receiving end that looks like a Mexican peso. And the receiving institution receives the pesos. Pretty swift, no pun intended, pretty quick. Instead of 15 to 30 days, this takes 3 to 5 seconds. Is there some risk in sending something over 3 to 5 seconds with currency risk? Sure, but not as much as the SWIFT system with the 15 to 30 days. But once the pesos come out on the other side, we can do it to pay wages. We could do it to invest in industry. We could do it to buy things on the other end. And we're not waiting half a month to a month to make that happen. It's pretty quick, validated, and instantaneous. So we can see the world that Garlinghouse and his team see is much different than the one we're living in right now. And there are a lot of powerful people who benefit financially from the world that we're living in now. So it's easy to see why a lawsuit has been filed against Ripple over the past couple of years to slow this process down, because it's like a tsunami. It's coming whether we want it to or not, and slowing Ripple down and what they were trying to do, at least on the U.S. shores, has given probably some of the SEC's cronies some time to at least catch up in the technological world, although it just isn't going to happen. There's too many agreements across the world. The rest of the world does not give a shit what the SEC calls XRP, security or not. The system seems to be where we're headed with solving this very immense problem. Now, the best example I can give of something like this is I always think of an arcade. If you've ever gone to an arcade or something like Dave & Buster's or something along those lines, usually what you're doing is you're starting out with your dollars. You're exchanging those dollars in for a token, right? And that token allows you to play the video games, allows you to probably get, the little claw thing where you pick up your little stuffed animal, or if you're old school from Jersey like I am, you play skee ball. And that skee ball game usually spits out a ticket on the other end. It looks like one of those raffle tickets that you probably see. And that ticket is going to buy you some of the prizes that they have at the very counter that you go to when you're ready to exchange those in. So you got to remember, you're starting with something of value. The token gives you a value to play these games for entertainment, and then the ticket spits out something of value in order for you to claim that stupid little plastic spider ring that cost 150 little tickets that you got because you were a skee ball champion, whatever it would be. No different than money going in to an XRP system, which gives you a token and has value, and then spits out currency on the other end, which also has value from those on the receiving end, to spend it on those things that they want to spend it on. Hopefully not a plastic little stupid spider ring. So with that in mind, just keep this example in your head, as that's the mechanics of how this would work. As far as a real world example, again, entrepreneurs thinking about solving problems, I encourage you to look in your own communities and think of problems that you want to solve. This is what we hold, and this is the future. So if you're in on this game and you got in for a low price, God bless you for where it's going now. It's only going up in the future. So good luck, everybody, on your plays. Hope this was educational and informative. And giant hugs.